Hey guys, Al here from Power Profit Programs. Now today's video is all about festivals. Yeah, it doesn't matter how big or small your city is, odds are there are local festivals that take place in parks, whether they're outdoor or indoor festivals, activities for the family, fun days or whatnot, musical outings, outdoor concerts and whatever the case may be. Every town, every city, every place has got them. And this provides a superb marketing opportunity, and it can actually be substantially cheaper than you think. Okay? Now, depending on where along you are in the business journey, whether you're a martial arts studio or a fitness studio or yoga or whatnot, so depending on where or what level you're at, you're going to do things differently. And I've gone through all three levels, and I'm going to explain them a little bit. Okay? Level number one is when you're just starting off and you have little or no budget for these festivals. Now, usually, these festivals are very cheap. Usually you can have a vendor's table, a 10 by 10 booth, for like $100. In fact, when I was just starting off, I actually went through, I couldn't even afford the $100 booth. So I'd go in through a not-for-profit company. I would arrange some kind of fundraiser, raise money for the heart and stroke or for cancer or whatnot. And then I would actually go in with them. And often in not-for-profit, they'll put you guys in a community group where you all share a booth. But it's a way to get in there. But before even that, what I used to do is I would get a couple friends. Let's just say we're 3, 4, 5. Hey, if you've got a lot of students, maybe you can get 10 or 15 students together. Everybody wears the company logo. I'm actually dressed casual today. But everybody wears your club logo, your branded t-shirt, branded baseball cap, whatever you need. And all you do is you show up at the festival and you walk around for the entire festival. Now, usually these festivals are on public property or city property or park property, and there's no administration fee to get in. If there is, hopefully it's nominal and you can just pay and get in, no big deal. But the way we do it here, where we're from, or at our local, in our city here, is 99% of the time there's no admin fee, there's no entry fee, there's nothing. Anybody can walk through the festival free of charge, and because it's public property, they can't necessarily ask you to leave if you hang out there all day. So what we would do is we would get a dozen students or half a dozen, or even sometimes it was just me when I was just starting off and I had no other volunteers I could kind of bug to come with me. I'd walk around the festival all day long and I would just hand out my coupons. I'd hand out my flyers, hang out my coupons, and basically do anything you can do to make it look like you're part of the festival without actually being part of the festival. Actually, I'm going to do something really unprofessional. I'm going to leave the camera for a minute. And I'm back. I just wanted to go to the front desk to grab these guys. So what I would use, these are giant boxing gloves. One of my studios is a kickboxing studio. That's actually what I started with. So I would walk around the festival wearing these gloves. Now right now they're tied together, but they're an actual glove. You can put your hand inside of them. And I'd walk around the entire festival wearing those gloves. And have coupons in my back pocket, whatnot. Make sure you have a branded logo. When you got something goofy like that, kids are going to want to take pictures, people are looking at you, all kinds of good stuff. So that's method number one, is to not even be a part of the festival, but be present at the festival for the duration of the festival. It makes for long days, I'll tell you that. But I'd go there and hang out at the festival from sun up to sundown or whatever the hours are, handing out my coupons, carrying my logo. You can get really creative. I mean, you could buy a flag, a standard flag, 2 feet by 4 feet or whatever the case may be. Stick it on a pole and walk around the festival with the flagpole in your hand for the entire time. If you own a yoga studio, you could just, in the middle of the park, put out a mat and do yoga. If you own a fitness center, a regular gym, you can walk around carrying dumbbells. You could pull out some kettlebells and do a workout in the middle of the grass. The ideas are limitless. Actually, they're only limited to your imagination. So there's a lot of ways to take advantage of a festival for free. So that's method number one. Method number two, like I touched on earlier, is to have a booth had a 10 by 10 booth at the festival or whatever. This is obviously a little bit more pricey. They range over here from, I've paid as little as $30 for a booth to as high as $500 for a booth. Of course, it varies depending on if it's a one-day thing or a three-day thing or whatever. Couple things with that. Number one, I know it's a little bit more expensive, but try and have your booth as presentable as possible. If it looks like you went to your local Canadian Tire or Walmart or whatever and bought the cheapest little tent you could buy, and you're constantly trying to tie it down because the wind is blowing it over, it really looks unprofessional. Now, granted, it could look so silly that it draws attention. Is that worth it? Who knows? But absolutely, you want to make sure your booth is as professional as possible, and make it as entertaining or as attractive as possible, or make it so that the kids want to go there and have fun if you're attracting children, of course. A lot of people put say this is my office, is the 10 by 10 booth, and they'll put the desk or the table at the front so people can't come into the booth. I don't like to do that. I like to have the tables along the outside of the booths, and I like to stand tucked away in the back, and the reason is people might not see that you're standing there, and that makes them want to come into the booth more often. You'll find that if you're at the front, like a front door, like a front desk, it's not approachable. Another tactic I used to do, of course, I'd have all the tables on the outside, lots of pictures everywhere, lots of testimonials and whatnot, is I wouldn't stand in my booth. I would stand about 20 feet out or 10 feet out, and I would stand more in the crowd, obviously keeping an eye on the booth. And then people see an empty booth, they walk in, they'll start looking around, grabbing your pamphlets and whatnot, and that's when you come in from behind, you surprise them, and you engage them in conversation, ask them questions, what their needs are, what their benefits, what kind of benefits they're looking for, and whatnot. So that's method number two along the scale. So at first, you have no money, your business just started, you're just attending the festival. Number two, you've got money, you can afford to have a booth, you've got a good setup, that's good. Number three is once you've got a booth, in stage number two, I was the one manning the booth from sun up to sundown. If it was a 3-day festival, I was there for 15-hour days, sun up to sundown. It's exhausting, but you have no money to hire other people. You can only afford to have the booth itself. Stage number three is being able to afford the booth and afford staff to man the booth for you and have it completely run. And if you're really good, you've got staff to set it up, to tear it down, to keep it safe at night, whatever the days are or whatnot. Now, a couple things about the booth. It's essential when you're staffing, I should say. It's essential that you make sure your staff knows they're not there to play on their phones. They're not there to read a book. They're not there to look bored out of their mind. They're there to engage prospects that are going by. They're there to have fun. They're there to take pictures with the children. They're there to enjoy themselves. You want to try and make it so they're smiling, they're laughing, they're giggling, they're telling jokes, whatever. They're having a good time. If it looks like the staff is bored out of their mind, it's going to relate to the business is boring. It's going to make it so people are not going to want to approach that table. Sometimes the festivals are incredibly boring. Sometimes they're very dry. Sometimes it's just not busy. Sometimes you're busy for 10-minute spurts and then you're dead for an hour. We get it, I get it. But no matter what it is, no matter what the attendance of the festival is, make it fun, engage the students, engage the prospects, I should say. If it's really dead, trust me, everybody else is bored out of their mind. So engage the other booth tables, talk to them, ask them questions about their business, be curious, be involved, and you're going to make it a lot more impact at this festival. Another thing I did a little while ago, it's a couple years ago, one of the festivals that we have over here, it's the Downtown Festival. I don't want to give too much away, but they lock in one person per industry. So somebody else has been locked in to this festival for years. And I've never been able to get in because even though the other studio was a Muay Thai studio and we were kickboxing, they've seen us do the same thing, which is okay. So we weren't able to have a vendor booth. So what I did for that one is I actually approached about 6 other booths at that festival. I actually approached about a dozen. A lot of them said no. but I had about half a dozen that said yes. And what I did is I put coupons, flyers, discount things on their table. Okay, so I put my advertisement at their booth, and I put tracking codes on all of the material from that booth, and I actually paid them a referral fee from anybody who joined that had a coupon from their booth. I'd give them 5%, 10%, $5, $10, $100, whatever the value is, whatever it's worth it to you. So I actually had half a dozen booths at that festival, which I wasn't allowed to have a booth at, that all had my signage, my material, a little spot. If it's 10 by 10, you get 2 feet out of their booth, and you put all your stuff there, and you pay them a referral, and you make sure that it's worth it for them because they're doing you a service. But it's also a great way to get a lot of exposure for very little. And don't forget that all these referrals you're paying for, in terms of people that came from that booth, it's found money. It's a client that would not have come in had it not been for them. So it might cost you $10, but you might make $100 on the back end, or in the lifelong value of that client, you might make $10,000 off of them, or whatever the case may be. Just remember, when you're paying referrals, you need to be, or I should say referrers, you need to be quick on it, and you need to stay on top of it. If it takes you 3 months to come back and pay them for a client that signed up, say a week after the festival, you're going to lose credibility, and you're going to think you're a scam or a fraud. So it's essential that when you get the client, when they come in, they pay, you call right away. If you've got some kind of a free trial before they sign up, as soon as they come for the free trial, you should shoot that client or your referrer an email, say, hey, thank you very much for having for having our stuff at your booth, at your festival, at whatever. I just want to let you know, we've had 15 people come in since the festival with your coupon code on. They're in the middle of their free trial, 1 week, 2 week, 5 day. As soon as they sign up, I'll let you know, and we'll take it from there. Of course, these festivals you can't be at. You can still be there. You can still be in attendance as a regular client. Same as idea number 1, wearing your branded logo, shirts, whatever, walking around, passing coupons, and so on. So there's a lot of ways to take advantage of festivals without having to put a lot of money in. There's a lot of ways to take advantage of festivals without putting a lot of money, but putting a lot of your time in. So when I was doing them all, I was at a festival, I think every weekend for about a year straight. Every single weekend I was somewhere. There was an event going on that I was present at. And a lot of them don't cost a lot of money, but a lot of time. I've got 3 kids, and when I was just growing my business, I only had 1, I had 2, and then obviously I had 3. But at the very early stage, I only had 1 child, and yet I still found like I never got to see them because I was away every weekend, sun up to sun down. I'd leave when they're in bed, I'd come home when they're in bed. But then you get to a point where you can hire, and then you can have other people set up for you. So now it's at a stage where the business runs by itself. There are staff that do all my festivals. In fact, one of my staff, all they do is fill the calendar with events and go from there. So now we're at all these events. We get massive exposure. Everybody tells us, "Oh, I've seen you here. I've seen you here. I've seen you here," and it makes business life a lot more fun when clients come in and they know who you are. It just, how it takes 8, 10, 5, 20 times for somebody to hear your name before they finally come in. So anyhow, I know this video is getting a little longer than normal, so I'm going to wrap it up. I strongly encourage you to take advantage of these festivals. They're amazing opportunities, and what you'll find is often at the festivals, the only other fitness-related people that are there tend to be the big hotshots, that the big franchises that are worldwide that they just pay somebody to go to the booth. Often they're not even from local. So there's often very little competition at the booth. And I'm going to talk more about competition in another video. So anyhow, I'm dragging it on. A lot of opportunities there. You should make a point to be at every event you could possibly be. It's going to make it look like you're very, very community-minded and very, very busy. And there's only good stuff that can come out of it, guys. So that's it for today. Keep an eye out for other videos. I've got another one I got to film a little bit later this week. So keep an eye out. Again, take a look at all our done-for-you marketing programs, fitness programs, plug and play. I should say plug, play, profit. And we'll take it from there. So again, this is Al from Power Profit Programs.